I personally feel that because it's the most natural process that happens through a female, and it gives birth to something so beautiful. It basically makes a lady become a creator. That time, it's like I say, and I always say that you should always have your gynac visit. Schedule it every 3 months, 6 months.
Because we really don't understand what is the kind of pain my sister is going through or my mom is going through.
Maximum females, we don't know what's going on with us during that time.
The kind of advancement that we have towards pain being one of the biggest factors into this. Is it ever going to be possible? A female can go out and say, it's okay, I know I'm on my period, but I can still go and play an aggressive sport game. Could be a rugby or a badminton on that particular day, or I can still travel 10 kilometers to my office, get the job done and come back.
Most women do it. Most women
without pain.
With pain also.
Welcome back to another episode of Meet and Greet with Pooja. Dr. Pooja Katara Agrawal in the house, founder and two-time founder, actually three-time founder of Rubbermaid, Plastomake and Cradle. Welcome, Pooja. It's a pleasure having you here.
Having me again.
It's a pleasure having you here. Actually, the last episode it got a little bit intense. And then I said, okay, let me just reserve some of the intensity for the second half of the conversation that we have. Because here I really want to deep dive and, kind of tickle the kind of thoughts that you have in your mind, where a problem starts off, how do you then navigate things through as a child, as a female, and now as a budding entrepreneur. In fact, a successfully budding entrepreneur. So I would maybe just like to say that thank you so much again for coming here on this podcast. It's a wonderful opportunity to spread light on a lot of important things which touch upon the daily lives of any person, regardless of where they are situated at this very moment. So that's that. You told me yesterday that, Akshay, we work on a lot of baby products. Cradle does a lot of work with respect to understanding what the field is like, what are the kind of customer feedback that we get, where is the right product market fit, and then you design solutions around it.
Yeah.
What you also said is we just don't do that. We take it a step behind. We talk about the moms as well.
Yes.
And before a female becomes a mom.
Yeah.
So that is the phase where she sees a lot of hormonal changes, a lot of things happening in her body.
Correct.
And that is when it's very important for us, especially in this time and age that we live in, the food that we eat. A lot of things are tied to the mental health plus the menstrual cycle of a female. Can you tell me why? And I've got statistics for this. We've got nearly 40 to 60% of urban and rural numbers which state that these are those parents who are hesitant to inform their kids about simple menstruation. And this is not just the men, even women are not able to talk to other women about it. I want to ask you this, why is it still so difficult for a woman to talk to another woman about something as simple as a period?
So firstly, thank you for touching this very important and sensitive topic, which is around menstruation, or also called as period or a period cycle. So I remember when I was a kid, and when I learnt about it, I was very curious. So there were 2-3 things that like my mother or my aunt, they used to give us terms to be used around it. Yeah, someone used to say, okay, you should not say, okay, I'm on my period.
Yeah.
You should say, okay, something like auntie has come or chachi has come. That means that the girl is on period.
Exactly.
And every household had like a different term to it so that you don't address it as a period. So I remember back in school when we were being educated around it,
Yeah.
So in the previous advertisements that you see, they used to use a blue ink,
Correct.
being dropped on the sanitary napkin
Exactly.
to signify that this is a period.
Yes.
So with great innocence, I had asked in that whole gathering of my class that because I was aware that it is not blue for sure, right? So it is a red color that comes in. Then I had very innocently put up a question that why is it that you are showing the color blue? And that time nobody had an answer to this. So coming from that to where we are right now, I just feel that firstly we need to accept that it's the most natural process that happens in a female body, and that's the very basis of how a girl can become a mom.
Right.
So having said that, I feel it's in our Indian culture itself, there are a couple of things that we are not comfortable.
But क्यों ऐसे होता है? Why? What? And
I mean, you can. It's been there for years. Certain things are said to be or meant to be kept under closed doors or closed windows that they don't want to use. Abhi, for example, even breastfeeding publicly. Now things have changed, but otherwise, menstruation was a topic which was never discussed earlier.
Right.
At home.
Right.
Many parents used to think that only schools should be responsible to give education around this, which I feel is not right.
Yeah.
Not only the girls but also the boys in the family should be educated. It can be your sister, it can be your friend, it can be your girlfriend, it can be anybody who would want a support during that time, since the cycle is different for each person. So I feel that now times are changing, but it's always been in our culture to keep things hidden, to not talk openly about it. Where in the Western countries you don't see that. People talk about it, and you should talk about it, is what I feel. There's nothing to be ashamed of around this topic.
Do you think there was some kind of an advantage? Because a lot of times there are folks who still say that, and mind you, I'm from Mumbai, so I did not even understand what a sanitary napkin was when I saw that blue color, and it just was so confusing for me as well. And it took me maybe to reach up till grade 7 to really understand what the blue really meant.
Yeah.
And I was baffled. I didn't even know whether that does happen. But coming back to my point, is it true that by not disclosing something, people tend to associate it with spiritual reasons and things like that? Where do you align on that? Because this is a very big problem that all women face. And mind you, a lot of them do have the courage today to speak about it, but this never really happened when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
It was very difficult for folks to talk about. So what is your take on that as well?
So, there is a lot of science behind why earlier it was a taboo kind of a situation, because the female is going through a lot in those 3-4 days.
Right.
So she's expected to rest.
Right.
So that's the science behind it, that because you're expected to rest, you're not, probably allowed to say do the work, or kept a little bit aside from the normal family gatherings happening, or going to temples or something of that sort. So that was the science behind it. And obviously, because India is what it is, and there's a lot of worship, temple worship, idol worship that happens. So you're not ideally supposed to touch or, enter the temple or, but then again, it differs from person to person, religion to religion, to each one its own. What I feel is that earlier it was the mothers who were not comfortable.
So there's one thing that and in fact, the whole nation that talks about this today is definitely inclined to know that why is there such a myth behind the period, and what is it? Is it just the religious aspect of it? What do you think? You're a doctor, you've read tons of books. You've met different class of people because you work in 3 different businesses of yours.
Yeah.
How do you draw a fine line, and how do you settle that thing off in your mind that, hey, it's just a medical thing?
Yes.
It's very simple. It need not be really overcomplicated, or should it be that way on a spiritual angle, religious angle, whatever, scientific angle? I want to know your take on that. What are these myths, and what are the real things that you feel is the reason why girls are told to do certain things and told to not do certain things when they're on their period.
Yeah, so if you go back to our ancestors, the actual science behind it is that the girl needs to rest when she's, on her period for the 3, 4, 5 day cycle that she's on.
Yeah.
That's why she's asked to, not get involved in the activities at home or the chores that happen at home.
Yeah.
That's the scientific aspect
Yes.
of it. So India being the mixed culture that it is, many religions don't allow the temple visits or the praying or touching the idol, whereas some of them do allow. Again, depends from person to person what they want to follow and they don't want. I personally feel that because it's the most natural process that happens through a female,
Yeah.
and it gives birth to something so beautiful. It basically makes a lady become a creator.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's nothing to be ashamed around it, and it's as good as, us going through a simple process of growing up. It's part and parcel of who we are, and being a girl, I am very proud and very lucky that I feel that we go through this cycle. It gets in so many emotion going on in us. There are so many changes that happen with us, and I feel that it should be acceptable. There's nothing to be ashamed or, refrain from as far as temple visit or something of that sort is concerned.
Correct. Okay. And do you think that these hormonal changes that we have, especially in the age of the fad foods that we consume, the lifestyle that we have, and the subsequent events of PCOS and PCOD that's on the rise today, do you think these hormonal changes also impact the way a delivery happens? Does it really play a part?
I mean, see, health defines, it comes under a lot of factors. It's not just the food that you consume. Sometimes the body itself has a way of not hormonally being, in a cyclic fashion. So that time, it's like I say, and I always say that, you should always have your gynac visits once the girl is on her period, irrespective of whether you have a problem or not.
Yeah.
We take this very lightly. We are not very assertive about when it comes to our, gynecology visits. You should know what's happening in your body. You should know why are you having a particular amount. So it's a varied sector of females wherein somebody starts to feel the PMS or the premenstrual syndrome that happens a week before she gets her period.
Right.
Some females have that when they are on their period.
Right.
So you should know pertaining to yourself, how your body functions. What is it that is exactly going on, what is the kind of blood flow you have during when you're on your period. So these are few things that you should always be aware of. And you should always be alert that I have my gynac visit. Schedule it every 3 months, 6 months, as and when you can.
So this is even for a naturally normal person who doesn't have any PCOS, PCOD?
I mean, yeah, why? See, you should always keep a check. It's like
Right.
once a year also, twice a year, if you go get a gynac visit check. Also because, uterine cancers are so common.
Right.
It's not necessary that you always get symptoms around it.
Right.
So you should always be updated, get yourself checked or tested or whatever is needed, so you know that, okay, fine, these are the things that are going right for me. Again, there are so many factors. You should know about your biological clock. You
Right.
should know, when is the best time for you to probably conceive.
Yeah.
And that again varies from person to person. So I am a big believer that yes, you should get your gynac visits in line and always follow it.
So for the biological clock, that's something that I was waiting to ask you. There's a lot of pressure put on females
Yeah.
that they need to get married at a certain age
Yes.
because of something called as a biological clock.
Yes.
And somehow it just doesn't come across for men the same way.
Correct.
How true is that? Because I see nowadays that there are a lot of females who are maybe, hitting it hard in the office, getting to a CXO level,
Yeah.
really killing it in the market. And they take their fair share of time to settle down and maybe, say that I want to have a baby now. It could be maybe after 40s.
Yeah.
Is that a bad time or is there a good time, great time per se as a doctor?
So see, again, you cannot challenge nature
Yeah.
in a nutshell. Uh, you should not be offensive about the fact that there is a term called the biological clock, because it is there. You know, our elders believe that everything should be on time.
Right.
You know, your education is at a certain time period. You graduate at a certain time period. Then you postgraduate at a certain time period. Similarly, there are few things that have a lot of science behind why they exist. Of course, being a mom and when you want to be a mother is totally your choice. Whether you want to, there are too many options in the medical fraternity now. There are IUOF options, there are IVF options. You know, you can freeze your eggs also. So there are a lot many options that can help you prepare better from
Right.
whenever you want to become a mother. But if naturally you want to go through something, it's always advisable that you should know what your biological clock says. So yeah.
And do you feel that after delivery,
Yeah.
is there some kind of a big biological change that a mother goes through? And I know that she does,
Yes.
irrespective of whether it's a natural delivery or cesarean. How does she get back herself into routine, get her cycles normal, take care of herself? What does she do? What should she do?
So you have to be kind to yourself.
Wow.
Because what happens is we are in this race of comparisons happening around us. We tend to overanalyze. We are very critical of okay, now it's been 2 years, I'm not being able to bounce back, or it's been 6 months, I'm not. It's totally okay. Your body knows when it needs to rest. It knows when it needs you to get that energy up and get you back and up and rolling. So you have to give yourself that time. uh, of course it's a difficult journey after motherhood. Then biologically you're going through so much, physically you're going through so much.
Right.
And it's not that you understand it. Even though you have 5 kids and you're going to have the sixth one, you will not know. Every experience is different.
Right.
You cannot compare that, okay, last time I went through this, but this time there's something new. So every time it's a different experience. So you have to understand, you can't be hard on yourself. You need to let your body do the talking to you, understand what it needs, and then you always bounce back.
Yeah, I think the body just knows what it needs, right?
Of course,
Yeah.
because again, talking about back then, we did not have these many medical facilities and hospitals and all of this going on.
Right.
Still, our forefathers have healed from every wound that they have, or probably there has been a mechanism that used to always work. So for the females also, it's very important that you give your body the space it needs, you give it the rest it needs, and you are going to bounce back no matter what.
Maybe I have on another topic though, but similar to this, is it just came back to me that we were shown that blue color of ink,
Yeah.
and let's assume you see a little baby now around you of the age that what you were at when you
Correct.
saw that blue
Correct.
advertisement. How, I just want maybe a one-liner as to how are you going to give back what you missed out on probably. How are you going to teach that little girl that, hey, this is okay, this is what it really means? How would you do it differently?
So firstly, we need to understand that you don't need to hide this. You don't need to create stories around it.
Right.
You can just go with your sister or your friend or your daughter even and take a pack of sanitary napkins, not wrap it up in a newspaper, not put it in a black polythene bag or
Yeah.
any sorts of bags. You don't need to hide it.
Yes.
You need to be comfortable. You need to also, your child also should be able to talk to you around it, that and prepare them that, okay, this is something that's going to come to you at this whatever age that it is, and this is how I have dealt it, and this is how you are going to deal with it. And if you have any questions around it, I'm open to listening. You can ask me, and I would probably tell the little girl that, hey, this is what it is, and it's a part of growing up. So
Yeah.
it's going to come to you. You please embrace it and be happy about it, and explain it to her what's exactly going to happen and how it's going to be.
How do you also add that element of awareness and kindness in the men
Yeah.
at that age and who are a little older as well, to be able to take care of their better halves, their friends, their family members during that time. Because we really don't understand what is the kind of pain my sister is going through or my mom is going through. I just don't understand. I want my food, I need some help, I need my homework done. How does a mother take care of that? It's very important for men to know this. And just by being aware of it in the right way, it instills a kind of kindness into us. How would you have done it?
So to all the men out there, maximum females, we don't know what's going on with us during that time. It is true when we say that, we cry at the drop of the hat, or we are feeling overtly overwhelmed, or we are overthinking. ऐसी चीजें होती है, and definitely होती है. So you need to also believe that, okay, now she's going through something. It's okay that I don't understand it, but I have to give it to her. Okay, fine, let her, just be there for her. You don't need to question it too much. You don't need to even understand it.
Right.
Most of the people would try understanding that, no, I'm there for you and I need to understand. You are not going to understand what it is like, because it's like a big roller coaster for us.
Right.
We are feeling very happy, optimistic, and then the next day we are feeling very don't want to get out of the bed kind of a situation happening for us. The thing is, we know how to deal with it. We just need a listening ear that, okay, fine, y'all are there, y'all understand. That's about it. And it's okay if back of the head if you don't understand. That's totally all right. Yeah, because men are doing a great job nowadays, I feel. There's a lot more acceptance around this. A lot more help is offered during this time. A lot more support is what I feel. I've seen a lot of fathers, be so frank with their daughters around this topic, which is great to see. Because the more you are comfortable with it, the more the upcoming generations are going to be okay with talking around this topic.
What are these hygiene criteria that you would want folks to maintain during this time? What is the personal hygiene that you do and that you think is very important for girls to absolutely know? They may know it, they may not know it, some may be doing it differently.
Yeah.
Something that you feel that has really helped you.
So a lot of things, like if you are, a lot of females have problems, they get rashes. Or sometimes, they are not comfortable because they have long hours of work.
Correct.
And they are not. So there are a lot of options that have come in the market besides the sanitary napkins. There are menstrual cups that have come in. That's like a new revolution that it can be once people understand. There's a lot of hesitance in accepting that because it's a product that goes into the body.
Correct.
Like a tampon or something of that sort. But it's really a good switch. You can explore your options according to your comfort. And hygiene wise, every girl knows what she needs to do. But probably try to keep yourself calm, composed is what I would say. You get menstrual cramps, not necessary that you take medicines around it. If it's really bad, you need to, but then there are other alternates also, like you use a heat pad, or take the day off, probably rest it out. There are too many things that you can do.
And do you think that the kind of advancement that we have towards pain being one of the biggest factors into this, is it ever going to be possible with the kind of medical research that you are also into, that a female can go out and say, it's okay, I know I'm on my period, but I can still go and play an aggressive sport game. It could be a rugby or a badminton on that particular day, or I can still travel 10 kilometers to my office, get the job done and come back.
Most women do it. Most women
without pain.
With pain also.
Yeah.
With pain also, because we become used to it. We find a way around it. We know that, okay, fine, these are the 2 days I'm going to feel a certain way and still do it. I used to get unbearable pain during my medical days, and we used to have exams and vivas, and that is something you can't skip.
Yeah.
So you find a way around it, ultimately.
Do you think that the stigma of period comes from the fact that we were not told about it? I don't want others to know about it. It's going away from cities, but in rural areas, as a doctor, you've worked with multiple patients. You've seen so many cases. What would be that one thing that you can do to change their mindset? Someone who could barely watch this podcast maybe on a 2G or 3G internet, वो आप क्या ऐसे संदेश दे पाओगे उनके लिए जो उनके माइंडसेट को बोले कि hey, you know what, it's okay, it's all right.
So again, coming back to the fact that this is what makes a lady being a creator that she is. Maximum population आती है, it's from the rural areas, right? वहाँ awareness create करना is very important. There are so many doctors who are posted now in the rural areas and they're doing a great job, you know, with the education of these people. Girls are being educated around it, so they are in turn helping the families to get educated around it, that okay, this is what it is. बहुत सारे movies screens पे दिखाते हैं around this कि no, this is what happens, and the myth is broken to a certain extent. But again, getting the men to talk about it, you know, and the ladies of the house to be comfortable talking around it is extremely important.
Do you think that Cradle is coming up with something to be able to, maybe not in 2026, maybe 27, 28, 29, to tackle this problem of menstrual pain or menstrual health?
So we've already launched our menstrual cups and they are just going to come in the market anytime soon.
Oh, lovely.
So we are planning some ad campaigns or something that helps you understand that, you know, it's all right, and this switch is important, you know, and for people to be comfortable around it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it'll touch a lot of lives together. Yeah. Thank you so much, Pooja. I think it was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here.
It's very, very amazing to see how you finally put in your words and your thoughts into these issues. It's not even an issue, actually, if I would want to rephrase. How you put your thoughts into real things that do happen, but have turned out to be some kind of a taboo and really needs to be taken out of the way to focus on larger things in life. So thank you so much, Pooja. It was a pleasure. This is me, Akshay, and we're going to meet in another episode discussing about something else. Bye-bye.
Thank you.